cousin Melvin would often babysit her son, but last summer accusations were made that Melvin molested Chiquita's little boy. And when the boy's father, Frederick, and his girlfriend, Shayla, questioned the child about the abuse, he told them that it was a man named Melvin. Take a look.
I've never in a million years would have thought that I would have walked in on anybody messing with my child, let alone his brother. The whole situation is just messed up. Last summer, my boyfriend was at work. I was at home with my son and his other son, Keita's son, and when I walked by the room, they both were sitting on the bed, touching each other very inappropriately. When I saw this, I completely freaked out. I panicked. I separated them both. I had never seen anything like this in my life. I knew my child didn't know anything about, any kind of sexual activity or anything in that nature. So it completely shocked me. When I called Keita and told her what was going on, she was very apologetic, and from there, we just kind of questioned Keita's son later on that night, and he's told us that Melvin made him touch on his butt. He said Melvin showed him videos in his phone of other men doing inappropriate things to each other, and so he said that's where he got it from, and that was the reason he did it to my son.
When you hear that you're being accused of molesting the little boy, what runs through your mind?
It hurts my heart. It's something that I never thought that I would be accused of.
What did your son say to you?
He said Melvin did it.
He described the sexual act.
He was like, Melvin. I said, where you get this from? He said, Melvin.
Shayla and Fred brought my son back. I talked to my son immediately, and I just asked him, okay, let me know what's going on, because your cousin could go to jail. I just want to know, are you sure about this, basically? And that's what he told me, no, it didn't happen. So I'm like, well, son, if it didn't happen, why would you tell me and your father, Fred, that it happened?
First off, look, it was only a week he was in my house. How did I coach him?
He was there longer
when that
than a week.
happened, it was a week, Keita.
Yeah,
okay, well,
even if it was a week, the third day when your son was in my house, my son came in the kitchen and said, I want to play mama and daddy. I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't think anything of it because, he's a child. So then when the incident happened and I caught it, now I'm like, okay, boom, this is where it's coming from. So
were you also talking after you saw this behavior? Did you talk to the boy, or was it just his father?
The first time I did, when he got home, I had him tell him what he told me.
Right. When you were talking to the little boy, what did he say to you?
I asked him where did he get it from. First he said it was another family member that be touching on him. Then it came out that...
And he said a name?
Yeah.
That's my first
Other than Melvin?
I swear to you.
Really?
Oh, you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, when you say a family member, well, okay.
Right, but I'm saying it was a name other than Melvin.
Yeah, first it was another name. Then it came to Melvin touch on both of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying there. So do you believe that Melvin did this to the little boy?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because when it comes down to him, her son, when you talk to him, he's really shy. When you be
it's hard to get an answer out of him.
So, I don't know, but I just know what he said. I know what he told me. I don't know you. This is my first time seeing you. And before the incident happened, the day before the incident happened, I can't remember what he said, but he said something about Melvin. And then the next day it happened, and he said Melvin name. I'm like, well, he just said Melvin name yesterday.
So, Frederick, we gave you a lie detector test. And we asked you, did you fabricate the story that your son told you that Melvin touched his private part? You answered no. Did you coach your son to say that Melvin touched his private part? You answered no. The results for your lie detector test, they came back the same to each question, and it came back that Frederick told the truth. Shayla took a lie detector test. And we asked you, did Frederick's son tell you that Melvin touched his private area? You answered yes. Did you coach Frederick's son to say that Melvin touched his private part? To that question, you answered no. The results came back the same to each question, and it came back that Shayla told the truth. We asked you, Melvin, have you ever shown pornographic images to Jaquita's son? You answered no. You told the truth. Did you ever have Jaquita's son do anything sexual to you? You answered no. You told the truth. Did you ever touch Jaquita's son's private part? Did you ever touch Jaquita's son's private part? You answered no. And the result for that question is you did not tell the truth.
Man,
You touched my baby.
bro.
Get that jump from nowhere.
Steve,
Now he
you
done
touched
touched
my
baby. You touched my son, bro. You
Lock him
done
up.
touched my son, bro.
Lock him up,
You done
Steve.
touched my
Are you
son.
serious?
Lock him up,
He done took the
Steve.
innocence from my son.
Lock him up, Steve.
My son.
I
Lock
don't
him
see
up,
you the
Steve.
same,
Is you
dog. I
serious?
swear.
Lock him up, Steve.
Is you serious?
Get rid of him.
no.
Get rid of him.
Is you serious?
Somebody
So you just out here taking these children innocent, got them doing it to other kids?
God.
Ain't no stand up here talking about
And that's
something
why you
doing
said
it
you
to
felt like it was
bro.
okay to do to his
Come on, bro.
I knew it,
because
bro.
you did it to him.
I knew it, bro.
Oh my
I knew
God.
it.
Child,
I knew it. I knew it,
but you
bro.
sitting up with that little ugly ass look on your
That's why I
face.
was
Baby,
asking
you
you.
Dog, I swear.
Jump
I
crazy,
didn't think
bro.
you would do that, dog.
Don't worry about it.
I want to
Come
bring
on.
out Dan to explain something about your test.
And this is what we call a conditional result. The reason that the result is conditional is because he came and said that he used ecstasy on Friday evening. Ecstasy is something that we always want to see if it's still in the system, and a couple days later it might be. So I asked him if he would take a drug test, and he refused. The producers asked him, would you take a drug test, and he refused. This leads me to believe that he took other drugs as a possible countermeasure to try to beat this test. This is why he came here, because he thought that he would get away with it.
Melvin, you went backstage, we gave you a drug test, and you were given a 16-panel drug test. You disclosed that you used marijuana, but you didn't disclose that you used cocaine. You failed for cocaine use. You did use cocaine?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Steve, so still, undisclosed drugs. When you start lying to the polygraph examiner, it doesn't work out well. He contacted the show to clear his name, then he becomes uncooperative. I still can't rule out that he didn't try to use a Xanax last night or the day before to try to suppress his reactions as countermeasures. That's a very short-lived drug, and it wouldn't show up on the drug test this morning or this afternoon. So the conditional result still stands. I estimate the accuracy of this polygraph test to be 80% or better.
Don't do drugs before you come here.
And you
We
did
tell
it
you that.
anyway. And you did it anyway. You did it anyway.
So-
Even I knew that.
So if you were really innocent and wanted to prove that you didn't do this,
You would have made sure.
Everybody knows
then
that.
you would
Everybody
make sure
watch
you didn't
Steve.
do any
You know you
drugs.
weren't supposed to take
But
no
the
drugs,
other
bro.
fact that really concerns me is, well, you passed for a couple. You didn't, you didn't make him touch you, and you didn't show pornographic videos. You touched him, which that's how it usually goes down. Yeah. So I'm asking you, just as a human being, won't you admit that you made a horrible mistake?
No, I won't. I want to take another test. If I was under the influence, they should take me
And
another test.
hopefully, when you go
Taking
home,
another test ain't gonna change
no,
nothing.
listen.
If you
Hopefully,
said that I
when
was-
and
drugs
the
have a-
sheriffs or the
a
police
change-
department will give you that other test. And with that, I hope you'll prosecute this guy, go home, go
yeah,
to
he
police.
will.
And with
Well,
that,
I
you
am.
get the hell off my stage. This is somebody that you knew your whole life.
Oh, I knew.
Right.
I didn't
Well,
know
that's
him.
the thing. And people say all the time, oh, I go, what does a child molester look like? You don't know. You
There you
don't
go,
know.
right there.
Well, yeah, that's one that looks like that. But like you said, here you have to trust, if you're a working mother, you need people to watch your kids.
That I
And
can
it's
trust.
scary, right, that you can trust, and then something like this happens. And like I said, I thought you brought up an excellent point, how this then also affected your child, which is, when child molestation is a terrible thing, and it really harms children. I hope that you'll get help for your kids, but I hope you'll go back. The first thing you do is you call the police on this
I
guy
am.
and get him locked up.
yeah,
Thanks
yeah.
for coming on the
Hey,
show.
no question about it.
Thank you.
Very nice
Nice to
man.
meet you.
Yeah.